As the cost to travel to Hawaii continues to rise, and with new fees coming towards the beginning of the new year, families are just trying to make their 2026 Hawaii trip work on a tighter budget. Totally understand. We're right there with you. And in today's episode, you're going to discover 10 practical tips to make your trip more affordable without watering down the experience in Hawaii. Hello and welcome to Hawaii's Best, the podcast helping you plan an unforgettable trip to Hawaii. Here I share practical tips and up-to-date news for anyone who is interested in traveling to Hawaii or just loves Hawaii. My name is Brian Murphy and I am the host and owner of Hawaii's Best Travel. I'm just so thankful for you joining me on this episode. And we're going to be talking about something that is super relevant, I think, for a lot of people traveling to Hawaii in the near future. Looking at 2026, a lot of fees are happening starting January 1st, 2026. I covered a little bit of that in last week's episode, so you want to go back and check that out. But planning a Hawaii trip in 2026 can feel overwhelming with rising costs, shifting rules, and a lot of noise online right now about what you should do and maybe what you shouldn't do in Hawaii. So by the end of this episode, it's my goal that you'll know whether you're making the most common money-draining mistakes families run into constantly. And if you are, you're going to know exactly how to fix them so you can stretch your budget even further and still have an unforgettable Hawaii vacation. And as we get into it, I just want to let you know that in the first link in the show notes below, you can grab my free guide with 10 more tips on how to save costs when planning a trip to Hawaii. So you're definitely going to want to have that guide handy as you begin your planning. Maybe you're already in planning stages. Maybe you're in Hawaii right now and thinking about the next time you're going to be visiting. And this episode will be helpful for you as well. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into it with tip number 1. And that is pick one island, maybe two, depending on the time you got. This is something that a lot of people don't think about until it's too late. Every inter-island flight for a family of 4 adds up pretty quickly. And, I'm talking several $100s in airfare alone. Then you've got the extra time, the extra rental costs, bagging fees, the whole packing and unpacking dance multiple times, especially as you're doing that with the family. You think, well, I'm just going to hop on over to Maui for the day or two. That's a whole ordeal. And maybe that sounds familiar to you. And that's a trap that a lot of people fall into because for many, visiting Hawaii is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And you want to make the most of it. You want to do all the things. And I totally get it. But Hawaii isn't like a day at Disneyland where you have to make sure you do all the rides. It's far from that. So one thing I would definitely encourage you to do instead is to go deep instead of wide as far as your island choices. Spend a full week on Oahu or Maui or Big Island, Hawaii. Really explore it. Find the neighborhoods, find the local mom and pop spots, find the farmers markets, just get in tune and in step with the vibe, the feel and pace of the island. Maybe you want to go to that beach more than once. And I think you'll have a better experience, a better trip, and you'll spend way less if you're not traveling, doing island hopping throughout your trip, especially if you're only staying for a week. If you're doing I'd say more than 10 days, then yeah, you might want to look into island hopping. But if you only got a week, I would highly recommend that you spend that week on just a single island. Tip number 2 is stay in a condo and cook your own meals. This is actually a big one for my family, and this is something that we do, and it's a huge time saver because you're not having to go and hunt for food, trying to find a new spot. You already have maybe a menu that you've created. We usually eat in breakfasts and lunch, and then we do our outs for dinner. But this is something that has saved us a lot of money, and a lot of the condos or timeshares do have a little kitchen. If it does, that really does change a lot. There's Costco's on every island. What's cool is you're not going to be paying for resort markups on breakfast because a lot of resorts don't do a free breakfast. You're not going to be grabbing lunch at tourist spots. If you are on a tight budget, hitting up a Costco or a local supermarket like Food Mart, definitely the way to go in saving money on food costs. Now, you might be thinking Brian, okay, that's great, but groceries in Hawaii cost more than the mainland, and that is completely accurate. They do. But the reality is a family dinner you cook for yourself still costs a fraction of what you pay at a restaurant. So we're talking about the difference between $120 for a family dinner out and a $25 meal at home or, in the condo. Do that a few times a week and you've freed up $100 right there. Just keep it simple. You're in Hawaii. You don't have to, just keep your meals simple. Enjoy all that Hawaii is. Maybe save that money for a nice dinner out, or just save that money because you need to save that money. Totally get it. Number 3 is shop smart. So like I mentioned, shopping at Costco, Food Mart, farmers markets. One of the first things we do when we land is we'll get to where we're staying and then we will go hit up Costco. That's what we do. You might not like Costco. That's totally fine. There's so many other options on the islands, but we load up on the basics. Definitely save money compared to convenience stores or resort shops. Plus, you'll have what you need for the whole week. It makes planning so much easier. In midweek, we usually hit up like a farmer's market. The prices on in-season fruit are often better than chain stores. And one of the best things about that is you're supporting local growers. It's fun. It's low-key activity for the family too. They're free to get in and you get to support local fresh pineapple, papaya, local treats. There's probably poke and all the good stuff at farmers markets. One big grocery run plus a farmer's market visit can save you hundreds over buying everything at resort prices. And moving right along to number 4 is eat like a local, not like at the resort. You didn't fly over 2,000 miles to eat at a chain restaurant. I know, well, maybe we still hit up CPK when we're on island just because everybody likes it. But we'll do that maybe once. But you definitely want to try the local places. Think plate lunches, food trucks, poke. Tastes like nothing that you can get on the mainland. There's so many great local noodle spots. These places feed families for half the price of resort restaurants. You can find these places on Yelp, but what I would recommend is ask your hotel concierge, or maybe you get to talking to someone who lives on island. Ask them for their favorite local spot. Maybe they'll share with you. Sometimes you might find that they'll hide the actual favorite, but they're going to give you some good options. You'll be able to find the food truck everyone's talking about and where they're going to do their next pop-up. Shout out to Joja. You might want to check them out next time you're on Oahu. They have some of the best smash burgers. You can find them at Joja Hawaii. That's Joja Hawaii.com. And you'll be able to check out where they are. Tip number 5 is pack light to beat baggage fees. Check bag fees compound fast for families. Most airlines charge between $30 to $40 per bag each way on economy fares. So for a family of 4 with multiple bags, you're looking at between $200 and $300 just for baggage fees. That's real money you're handing over before you even deplane. And the simple fix is aim for carry-ons plus 1 shared check bag. You'll save money and avoid the hassle of dealing with extra luggage. It's definitely a win-win. This is what we do every single time. We have 1 check bag and we have all the girls. We got 3 girls, my wife and I. We all have our personal item and we have a carry-on, and it's more than enough space. Tip number 6, build your days around free and low-cost activities. Here's what most people don't realize is that Hawaii's best experiences don't cost a lot of money. Beaches are free. Most hiking trails are free or charge a small parking fee or an entrance fee into the actual park, like a national park. Scenic drives cost nothing. State parks might charge a modest entry fee, but we're talking just a couple dollars. Consider planning maybe 2 or 3 anchor activities that cost money. Maybe it's a snorkel tour, a specific guided hike, a luau. Then fill the rest of your days with beaches, lookouts, easy walks, drives, and just exploring everything that the island has to offer. That's really where the magic happens anyway. It's that spontaneous stuff, the unplanned moments. Those really are the moments you'll actually talk about when you get home after your trip. Tip number 7, use your hotel or condo perks. One mistake is just looking at the nightly rate of when you're comparing places when you're booking. Look at what's included. Do they have free breakfast? That can save you $50 to $100 a day for a family. Is there free Wi-Fi, free parking? That's huge. And what about free beach gear rentals? Those things definitely add up. Sometimes a slightly higher nightly rate that includes breakfast actually costs less than a cheaper room where you're still having to buy breakfast every single morning. So just do the math before you book. It makes planning so much easier and you'll know exactly what you're spending up front. Tip number 8 is plan one no-spend staycation day. Try to block out at least one day with no tours, no driving, no reservations, just the beach, the pool, simple food. Your budget will thank you. Your energy will thank you. You're going to need that. Maybe in the middle of your trip, you're going to want to just do like a down day. One of the things is that your kids will actually enjoy the trip more because they're not just running from one thing to the next thing. Island time isn't just a saying, it's a reminder to just slow down. That day of just doing nothing, you'll be surprised, is often the day that most families remember the most. I know that sounds crazy, but it's definitely true. It's true for us when we travel. We have quite a few down days. We just like to just chill. And those are really where a lot of the memories are built. Also with that is it's family bonding and all that good stuff that comes with that too. All right, and number 9, I'm going to combine 9 and 10 because I think they kind of go together. Travel in shoulder season and also fly midweek if you can. If you can do those two things, that's amazing. These 2 tips are my favorite tips, hacks, if you will. Most people book Hawaii trips around school breaks and summer. That's why summer and Christmas are so busy. That's when prices spike. Availability is limited. But if you got any flexibility at all, I mean, like aim for late April through early June or September through early October. Our 2 favorites are actually February and October. I know I didn't mention February in this because sometimes in February, your weather can be a little dicey depending on what side of the island you are staying on and what's going on. But the weather is still great in September, October. The crowds definitely do thin out. And that means one of the best parts is that it can save you money on your flights and hotel costs. Being from Southern California, midweek flights, especially Tuesday through Thursday, consistently run cheaper than Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We're flying out on a Sunday, I believe, and got a fairly good deal. But the day that I like to fly out, if we can, when it's just my wife and I, it would be like a Tuesday or Wednesday. That's when I've been able to find the best deals. If you can pair shoulder season with traveling midweek, you're going to be saving quite a bit of money right there. So that's why it's my favorite hack tip. Hate that word hack. Anyways, here's what these 10 tips really come down to. It's just being intentional with your money so you can spend it on what matters most to you. You're not cutting corners on experience. You're cutting out some of the waste, the stuff that doesn't really add value. When you travel this way, you actually get an opportunity to connect more with the island, more with the people. You eat where locals eat. You spend time at beaches without rushing to the next tour. And you've got hopefully some money left over for spontaneous moments or something that you might see at the farmer's market that you just got to buy. So if you want even more of these tips, again, go ahead and grab that free guide with 10 more tips at the first link in the show notes below. It's got specific numbers, timing, strategies, and details you can use right now as you're planning, like today now. And if you're looking for help putting together a personalized Hawaii trip that fits your budget and your family's style and vibe, I now offer one-on-one consultations, and I'll walk you through the planning, help you avoid common mistakes, and make sure you're getting the most out of your trip to Hawaii. Link to book a consultation is in the show notes below as well. Well, thanks again for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. Go ahead and hit follow on your podcast app so you don't miss future episodes like next week. And until next time, as always, live with aloha. Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, hit follow on your podcast app.
Hawaii's Best is a production of Shorebreak Media Group with editing by Easy Podcast Solutions and music courtesy of our friends Stick Figure.